Hey, shalom, shalom, mishpocha. This is Yehuda coming at you again with a few thoughts. Thinking it's a little bit comical. I know my last video was pretty stern and pretty serious, but this is a little comical, but yet also has a serious connotation to it. But hopefully, the humor will help the medicine to go down. As I think it was Mary Poppins that said, "A little spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down." But if you're familiar with the Jewish psychiatrist and psychologist Sigmund Freud, to him everything had to do with sex. So there is something that's called, a certain kind of envy. I won't say the word, but basically, men who drive big, fancy sports cars and have huge, big rings on their fingers and everything in their life is big, that sexually they're compensating for something. And sadly, I think this has leaked over into Messianic and Netzari Judaism, because I'll notice another trend that I'm seeing. It's almost as if believers are like in a contest with each other. Like guys will just, grow their beards to ridiculous lengths. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like long beards. I used to have the beard like halfway down my chest. But yet, they'll make that beard their pride and joy, and they'll be around other believers whose beards aren't so big, and you'll see this kind of proud look on their face like, hey, my beard's bigger than yours, which means I'm more Jewish than you, I'm more Hebraic than you, I'm more spiritual than you. Or, somebody who's got a shofar fixation. They'll come into these Messianic congregations and, they won't have like one of those little tiny ram's horns. They'll have like these huge triple twists, and, they're always bringing it up, and they're just carrying it around and just, like it's their rifle or something. And, somebody else has a little shofar and they kind of look down on them and they're holding the shofar and looking at the big one. And, and it's almost as if to say silently, my shofar is bigger than yours. Therefore, I'm more spiritual than you are. I'm more Hebraic, more Jewish than you are because I have a triple twist shofar and you just have a tiny little ram's horn. Nothing's ever spoken. But the body language and just the vibe and the air you get from certain people, you can tell it. Then you have these guys who are on a Tallit fixation. They'll have these big old Tallits that you could actually make a wedding chuppah out of. Heck, you can fold it up and take it camping and make a A-frame pup tent out of it. It's so big. They can wrap themselves like 3 or 4 times in it. And they think, and then you have this other person who has like one of these little shoulder tallits that's only about yay wide, and and like they look at this guy who's got this huge tallit, the guy with the huge tallit. It's almost as if he's got that air about him that says, "Ha, my tallit is bigger than yours. Mine covers my whole body and not just my shoulders. Because my tallit's bigger, I'm fulfilling more of the commandment of Tzitzit. Therefore, I'm more spiritual than you are. I'm more Jewish. I'm more Hebraic than you are." Come on, get real. To me, these people are just compensating for their lack of spirituality. They are trying to show through their physical possessions of Judaica that they're more spiritual when in fact they're probably less spiritual. Me personally, I don't have a triple shofar. Do I want one? Yeah, it'd be nice to have one. But I'm perfectly content with my little ram's horn. Why? It's portable. I can take it anywhere. I can pack it. I don't have to like check it in at the airport. All this crazy stuff. And you know what? I've got big tallits. But you know what? I like the small shoulder kind. I'm not intimidated by the size of somebody's tallit. I'm not intimidated by the size of somebody's shofar. Why do I like the smaller tallits better? Because you can wear them anywhere. They don't keep sliding off of you. If you wear those big ones, you have to roll it up and fold it up, and then you're praying or davening or something. They're always rolling down and falling off. I can publicly speak with that tallit, the shoulder tallit, on the whole time and then not move and then not slide anywhere. That's nice. That's really nice. I like that. And it just reminds me, I guess Freud would call it something else, but I'm going to call it Judaica Envy. All right? And I'm going to relate it to what Yeshua was talking about in Matthew chapter 23, verse 5. It says, "But they do all their deeds to be noticed by men, for they broaden the Tefillin. In other words, these big suitcases attached to their head with the big old straps that look like the belt of a professional wrestler. But they do all their deeds to be noticed by men, for they broaden their phylacteries and lengthen the tassels, the tzitzit of their garments. You know, I love tzitzit, but if you live in the modern day, they get stuck indoors, car doors specifically. It's hard to ride a bike with tzitzit. And then, you have these guys whose tzitzits are like dragging the ground, Come on, there's got to be a balance somewhere. So I don't mind shorter tzitzit. My tzitzit's longer than yours. It goes past my kneecap. Therefore, that shows how much more I trust in the name of Judaica and how much more I trust in his Torah. Because my tzitzit are longer than yours, and because mine has a blue threaded tefillin through it, and yours don't, I'm more spiritual than you. I'm more Jewish. I'm more Hebraic. You know what? It's nothing but Judaica envy. These people are trying to compensate for a lack of Jewishness, a lack of Hebraism, a lack of spirituality, because they can't trace their lineage back to anything Jewish or Hebraic, and because they came out of a Gentile Christian faith, and they feel inside that they're Jewish and Hebrew, and they may be, but they can't prove it. They feel they have to compensate for this lack of surety and this lack of knowledge. They figure the more Judaica that they carry around and have, and the bigger it is, the more faithful they are, the more resolute, the more dedicated, the more faithful, the more religious they are. What did James say? What did Yeshua's brother Yaakov say about true religion? You know what? True religion is taking care of the widows and orphans in their distress. He didn't say anything about tefillin, didn't say anything about tzitzit or shofars, didn't say anything about tallits. He didn't care if you had a 10-foot golden menorah in your living room. He said your actions is what determines your faithfulness and your observance and your spirituality, not the Judaica that you carry around with you. So a little humorous but yet serious note that I wanted to bring across to you regarding these things, and I'm seeing this in Messianic and Nazarene Judaism. And it's a subtle form of pride. That's all it is. It's a subtle form of pride, and it's a scream for attention, and it's basically, how guys will try to look hip for a date, and try to look cool in their middle age and they're going through a midlife crisis. It screams desperateness. Well, you know what? That's the way it is when you have too much Judaica, and the bigger it is, you think the better you are. No, it just makes you look desperate, like you're insecure about who you are and what you believe and the conclusions you've come to, and you're just amassing this stuff to make yourself feel better, to make others believe that, oh, wow, you're totally observant, you're Orthodox, or whatever. You know what? Just be yourself. Don't care what other people say or think. Don't get caught in the prideful trap of Judaica envy, because pride cometh before a fall, and a haughty spirit before destruction, as Mishlei Proverbs says. So anyway, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Shalom and Shavua.